Hello and welcome to silentlycooking.com with Peanut Butter Blossoms. That's right, you know this cookie. It's the one your aunt always brings to your family Christmas party. And aside from being a delicious holiday staple, they're also really incredibly easy to make. I know what you're thinking. You're saying, hey, wait a minute. Something's wrong. Usually I don't hear this guy's voice. Well, don't worry about that now. I'll talk about it more at the end of the video. But for now, let's get on with making these delicious cookies, which is going to start out with an entire stick of butter and make sure that it's room temperature. It needs to be pliable because, as I'm sure you've guessed by now, we are going to be creaming this butter with some sugar. But before we do that, we're going to be adding smooth peanut butter. So just add that right away and get a smushing and a smashing and keep smushing and keep smashing until it's nice and light and fluffy. So you can stop right there. And at this point, we're going to add our sugar, but not just one sugar. Oh no, we're going to be adding both regular table sugar and dark brown sugar. And of course, I'll talk about all the measurements and ingredients in the description of the video, which in this case will be a link to kingarthurflour.com, because that's where I got this recipe. I may not be a great baker, but they are. So I usually bow to them when it comes to baked goods. So anyway, by now you're probably getting your peanut butter, sugar mixture nice and creamy, and it should be creamed enough to where it's nice and light. At this point, we're going to add 1 egg and a few tablespoons of milk and some pure vanilla extract, making sure that we alternate in between left and right sides of the frame as we add each ingredient, and then we're going to take our spoon and give that a good mixing. And of course, not forgetting to scoop around the outside of the bowl and get everything incorporated. And from then, we'll move on to our dry ingredients, which will be very simple. Just a bit of flour, some salt, and some baking soda. What I like to do is just give this a little mix before adding it to my wet ingredients. So just grab your freakishly small wooden spoon, give that a mix. And once that reference has been made, we'll move over to your whisk, give that a good stir. That will get a little air into the mixture, or at least that's what my baking cookbooks tell me. After that has been mixed a little, we're going to add this to our butter-sugar mixture. Just give that a little stir, scraping down the bowl to get all the flour off around the outside, around the outside, around the outside, and try not to overmix this. Once all of that flour gets incorporated into the dough, just stop right there. That's enough, right there. At this point, we are ready to form these into cookie balls. So we'll get out a parchment-lined baking sheet and space these out about 1 inch apart. I like to use a little disher so that all my cookie balls are the same size. But of course, if you don't have one of these, you can just use your hands and roll them into balls yourself. And after we get all of these on a baking sheet, we are going to want to chill them. I went for about a half an hour chill in my freezer, which got them just firm enough to roll in some sugar. And you can use regular sugar, but here I went with this sugar in the raw. It was bigger and a little chunkier, and so therefore fancier. And after rolling them in sugar, we are going to place them right back onto the baking sheet, about 1 inch apart. And if you would like, as an optional step, you can do what I did, and give them a little pressing with some flat object. So here you can see I just took this mug, and I pressed each one down just a little, gave it a little twist, and flattened it out just a little bit. And do you need to do this? No. But I wanted mine to flatten out just a little bit more, because when I first baked these, I found out that they didn't spread out just as much as I wanted. So I did this. So after they are rolled and pressed, we are going to put these in a 375-degree oven for just 10 minutes. And of course, you are going to want to adjust that based on your oven. And about halfway through, I took mine out, turned them once, just to make sure that they cooked evenly. And while they cook, we're going to prep the next phase of our cookie assembly. And that includes this: chocolate kisses, or morsels, or nuggets, the star of the show, whatever you want to call them. We're going to need one of these per cookie. And it's pretty funny, you can see right here that as I was shooting this, I had no idea there was already a recipe for this cookie printed on the bag, but that didn't stop me from finishing the video. And removing those cookies right onto my countertop, right away, we're going to press down into the cookie with our chocolate kiss while it's still hot. It's very important that we do this quickly, and as soon as they come out of the oven. Don't be surprised if the cookies crack just a little. Usually you'll get one big crack down the side of the cookie, but that's okay. When you see that crack, you know that you shouldn't press into the cookie anymore. And just like that, our cookies are done! And right here, after they cool for just about 5 minutes, this is my favorite time to eat them. Because that chocolate kiss is just barely melted, and that mixture of chocolate and peanut butter is at its peak. Oh man, so good! And if I dare say, almost as good as Grandma makes. And of course now you can bring them to your next holiday gathering. You can see here I placed mine in this festive cookie jar, although I went with just this one kind of cookie, as I had already eaten all of my Linzer cookies that I made in my last video. But of course, if you want to fill your holiday cookie jar with more than one cookie, you can definitely do that. You are, of course, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar of your Christmas cookie jar. But I do hope that you choose to have these cookies as an option this year. So once again, check out the recipe link in the description to kingarthurflour.com, where you can get all the ingredient amounts from there. And if you're looking for any other Christmas cookie recipes to include in your holiday cookie jar, may I suggest that you check out the extensive backlog of videos at Foodwishes.com, who I'm sure most of you have connected the dots I am attempting to emulate in this video. Foodwishes has always been a major inspiration for me, so today while I was making these cookies, I decided it would be fun to impersonate my favorite YouTube personality, Chef John, whose lawyers I'm sure I will be hearing from soon. But until that cease and desist letter gets sent out, I hope you give this a try. Check out silentlycooking.com for more videos where I keep my mouth shut, and please check out foodwishes.com if you haven't already for some of the best content on YouTube. And as always, enjoy.